Have you ever wondered why India is, well, India? Why is it a subcontinent of such staggering diversity, a mosaic of cultures, languages, and histories all crammed into one geographical space? The answer isn't just in its people, but in the very land itself. This is the story of the Indian subcontinent, a tale written not just by emperors and armies, but by mountains, rivers, and the colossal forces that shaped our planet. Imagine, if you will, a time long before humans walked the Earth. A massive island, a piece of the supercontinent Gondwana, broke free and began a journey across the ancient Tethys Sea. For 50 million years, this landmass drifted northwards, a lonely traveler on a tectonic voyage. Then the collision happened, a slow-motion cosmic crash where this island slammed into the Eurasian plate. The impact was so immense, so powerful, that the Earth buckled, folded, and rose. This wasn't just a mountain range being born. It was the birth of the Himalayas, the planet's highest and youngest mountain range, a colossal wall that would forever define the subcontinent's destiny. This Himalayan wall became India's great northern fortress. It sheltered the subcontinent from the icy winds of Central Asia, creating a unique, warmer climate conducive to life and agriculture. It also acted as a formidable barrier, not entirely impenetrable, but one that funneled and filtered the movement of people for millennia. Migrants, traders, and invaders couldn't just pour in from anywhere. They had to navigate specific, treacherous mountain passes like the Khyber Pass. Each group that made it through brought new ideas, new genes, and new faiths, adding another layer to India's ever-evolving cultural tapestry. From the Himalayas, life-giving rivers flowed. The Indus, the Ganges, and the Brahmaputra, fed by glacial melt, carved out vast fertile plains across the north, the Indo-Gangetic Plain. This is the cradle of Indian civilization. Think of it as a giant natural nursery. The rich alluvial soil, replenished year after year by floods, made agriculture incredibly productive. It allowed for surplus food, which in turn allowed for people to specialize in other things: art, science, philosophy, and governance. It's no coincidence that some of the world's earliest and greatest cities like Mohenjo-Daro and Harappa of the Indus Valley civilization flourished right here. The rivers were highways of trade and arteries of life, sustaining empires from the Mauryas to the Mughals. The Ganges in particular became more than just a river. It became a sacred entity, the Ganga Ma, or Mother Ganges, central to the spiritual life of billions. But India isn't just flat plains. Look south, and the geography changes dramatically. We encounter the Deccan Plateau, an ancient triangular slab of rock flanked by the western and eastern Ghats. These coastal mountain ranges acted like another set of walls, creating a distinct geographical and cultural zone. The Ghats captured the monsoon rains coming off the Indian Ocean, creating a lush green coastline famous for its spices, while leaving the interior plateau, the Deccan, drier and more rugged. This separation meant that while empires rose and fell in the fertile northern plains, the south often followed its own distinct historical trajectory. Great southern kingdoms like the Cholas, Cheras, and Pandyas developed unique languages, art forms, and maritime traditions, largely independent of the north. And we cannot talk about India's geography without talking about the sea. With a coastline stretching over 7,500 kilometers, the subcontinent was destined to be a maritime power. The Indian Ocean wasn't a barrier, it was a superhighway for commerce and culture. For centuries, Indian sailors mastered the monsoon winds, those predictable seasonal winds that were like a natural engine for their dhows. They sailed to Arabia and Africa in the west, and to Southeast Asia in the east. They didn't just carry spices, textiles, and diamonds. They carried ideas. Buddhism and Hinduism traveled along these sea lanes, influencing cultures as far away as Cambodia, where the magnificent temple of Angkor Wat stands as a testament to this exchange. The coastline became a melting pot, with port cities like Calicut and Surat becoming cosmopolitan hubs where merchants from around the world met, traded, and shared their stories. This unique geographical setup, a fortified north, fertile river plains, a distinct southern plateau, and a vast, accessible coastline, created a permanent tension in Indian history. It was a constant push and pull between unity and fragmentation. Ambitious emperors would rise from the Gangetic plains and try to conquer the entire subcontinent, seeking the dream of a Chakravartin, a universal ruler. Some, like Ashoka or Akbar, came close to unifying vast swathes of the land. But the sheer geographical diversity always pushed back. The mountains, the plateaus, and the vast distances made it incredibly difficult to hold such a diverse territory together for long. As soon as a central power weakened, regional kingdoms would re-emerge, asserting their own local identities shaped by their own unique landscapes. So when you look at a map of India today, you're not just seeing political borders. You're seeing the echoes of a 50-million-year-old continental collision. You're seeing the legacy of rivers that birthed civilizations and the mountains that guarded them. You're seeing the roots of ancient mariners who sailed on monsoon winds and the paths of invaders who trickled through high passes. The story of India is the story of its geography. It's a land that was physically destined for diversity, a place where continents collided, civilizations were born, and the dreams of billions were nurtured by its mountains, its rivers, and its seas. It is a story that continues to be written on this incredible piece of earth we call the Indian subcontinent. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey through time and terrain. Let me know in the comments what part of India's geographical story you find most interesting. If you found this story as fascinating as I do, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more stories. See you next time. Thank you for watching Thought Atlas.